Right then, with the Euros less than 1 week away now, I cannot wait. I'm going to be predicting the entire tournament and we're going to see who's going to come out on top. So stick around to see who I think is going to win this tournament. And also, there's a few dark horses in there that I think could go deep. Stay tuned to see who I think they could be. But we're going to pretend like what happened last Friday didn't actually happen because I will get depressed. So we're going to go off the basis that England are actually good, please. That's just my prior warning. But just going to jump straight into it. We're going to start off with Group A, and we've obviously got Germany, Scotland, Switzerland, and Hungary. I feel like this is quite a strong group, more so than what people actually might think. Germany, obviously, it's their home tournament, so I think there's a lot of pressure on them, but I also think that their squad is getting better. Obviously, they've underperformed in the last few years, but I think they are on the right track now, and obviously they've got some superstars in their team like Musiala and Wirtz. I think they're all gonna really link up nicely. They're at that right kind of experience level where they're going to do well in this tournament. So I don't even need to say much. I think they're going to top the group. Next, we've got Hungary, and I'm actually a massive fan of Hungary, and I do think they could be one of these dark horses. They've got some good players in their squad. Obviously, you've got Szoboszlai. They line up in a 3-4-3, so they're very good at both committing players forward and sitting in a almost like a 5-2-3 shape in a defensive structure. So they've got a bit of both, and that's what you need in these kind of competitions, I feel. Obviously, yeah, as I said, you got Szoboszlai going to be pulling the strings from that attacking position, and you got Kirkes as well from Bournemouth, who I think's been having a really good season and is a very promising player, can play on either the left or the right, so could be very crucial as well. And I think they've got some really good overall balance in their squad, and I do think for me that they are actually going to be second. I think they could go quite far in this tournament. Scotland, I'm not entirely hopeful for Scotland. They're pretty defensive. I don't think that they've got many standout players. Obviously, you've got the likes of John McGinn and Che Adams, who are probably going to be their key players in that team, and obviously Robertson from left back, if he can get any attacking opportunities. But I just think they're the team that always qualifies and then fails to perform at the actual tournament. I just don't really think that Scotland have what it takes to do well in this group. And Switzerland, I also am a massive fan of. I'm not going to say they're brilliant, but they've got some good players in there. I think Okafor up top can be really enjoyable to watch. He's definitely a player to keep your eye on this tournament. And also defensively, they've got a few good options. You've obviously got Cher and you've got Elvedi, who are both strong players, but then you've got Akanji as well, who I think is more than capable of stepping up, playing into that midfield role. So for me, I'm gonna go Switzerland third, Scotland fourth. I haven't done this yet either. This is my first time actually doing this prediction, so hopefully I know what I'm talking about. Next, Group B, Albania, Croatia, Italy, and Spain. Again, this looks like it could be a pretty dangerous group. Spain, I feel like, are in a bit of a difficult position right now. They're in a transition phase. I feel like they've got either a lot of older players or younger players. Obviously, you've got like Yamin Yamal and Nico Williams. Nico Williams. Both very exciting players that I think could do well. I think they've done pretty good in their defensive options as well. I really like the left back role. Obviously, you've got Gaia, who's very good at balance. You've got Grimaldo, who can push forward. And you've got Kukurea, who can play as a centre back. So I feel like they've got a lot of good options in that position. The only thing I worry about is I think they might be quite one-dimensional. With Morata and Joselu as their only strikers, I do worry a little bit if whether they need to change it up, they're going to be able to. Are they going to play like Ferran Torres as the striker or something like that? I'm not entirely sure, but for me, I think they're going to have what it takes to come first. I'm not too worried about them. Albania next. Obviously, they've got Brozier up top. They've got Asani, and they've got a pretty decent defence. You've got Hysaj and Jamitsi and players like that who are pretty solid Serie A players, but I don't think they're anything incredible. I do think Albania could be one of the weakest teams out of this tournament. I would love it if they could come and pull out a surprise package with Brozier ending up showing why he's worth £50 million. But I just don't think they have what it takes. So for me, they are going to finish fourth. And then the main debate is Croatia and Italy. Now, obviously, Italy, we've seen their squad. I think there's a lot of concerns with that squad. I like their defence a lot. I think Calafiori and Buongiorno, I'm probably saying that wrong, alongside Pistoni, could be a really good defensive setup. Again, I worry about their attack. Obviously, Orsolini's come out of that team. I think he was pretty much their only main attacking midfielder. Obviously, you have Pellegrini as well, but I don't super love the options that they've got in there. We know they're going to dominate the ball and everything, so I do think they're going to have a lot of possession. But for me, I actually think Croatia are going to be. I think I'm going to leave them second. No, I'm going to switch. No. I actually don't know. No, I think I'm going to go Croatia second. I think for me, I think Croatia, they're that team that I don't think they should, based on what we see, be doing as well as they are. I really liked Maya, the midfielder. Obviously, you see the likes of Brozovic, Kovacic, Modric talked about all the time. I think he can do a pretty good job because he can play both midfield and in the attack, and I think he's been really good. And obviously, you've got Gvardiol and Stanisic who have had really good seasons as well. So I'm going to back Croatia to finish that group second. Italy obviously need to be careful as well because it's the sixth best third place teams, I believe, isn't it, that go through. So I think Italy could drop a lot of points in this league, in this group, and if they do, they could be in a bit of trouble. Going into Group C, who have we got? We got Denmark, England, Serbia, and Slovenia. Come on, England. I think for me, biased or not, I'm going to put England top. I think obviously we're one of the favourites, going to play that 4-2-3-1. We've got some superstars in there. You almost know the front line's going to be Kane, Bellingham, Foden and Saka. The midfield's a bit of a questionable area, and obviously defensively there are some concerns, but I think at least for this group we should be okay. And actually I think this group looks pretty much how I would have it. Denmark, always able to show up at these kind of tournaments. Got a brilliant set of players, and I'm surprised that Matty O'Reilly didn't make the squad. I think he deserved to be in there based on his performances for Celtic this year. Their defensive line I think is brilliant. Obviously you got Christensen, Kjaer Anderson as well from Crystal Palace. He's had a really good season. I just think that there are some areas that aren't necessarily strong. They play a 3-5-2 most of the time, and obviously you're going to have Højlund up top, so it's who's going to start alongside him. You can start Poulsen or Dolberg, but I feel like they don't add anything extra than what Højlund would offer. That's the only area of concern I have for Denmark. Serbia, obviously they got the Milinkovic-Savic's. They have a really good squad, so I'm always a bit weird with Serbia. I always feel like they underperform a bit. Vlahovic and Mitrovic up top should obviously do a job. Whether they do or not, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously Vlahovic and Kostic, both at Juventus, so they could have a good link up. I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're necessarily great. But I do see them managing to pick up a fair few points in this game. I could see them getting a draw against England. I reckon they'll beat Slovenia as well. Slovenia I'm a bit concerned about. I do think they're also a pretty weak side. Obviously you got Oblak in goal, who's very good, and you got Benjamin Sesko, I think, is the main man up top for them. He's going to be there. Literally everything's going to have to go through him. I think, is it Spora? I might be saying that wrong, at Panathinaikos is the other striker. I don't really love what he offers. So for me, I think Benjamin Sesko is the man that's going to have to be the one that carries Slovenia through this group if they do make it out. There's a chance I could see them finishing third over Serbia, but for me, I think that's as good as this tournament's going to get for them. Okay, Group D, we've got Austria, France, Netherlands, and Poland. Okay, that is a strong group as well, actually. We'll start with Austria. Obviously, Austria have got Ralf Rangnick in as their manager. I think the way that he plays is really good for international football. I think he suits this style more than he suits what he did at Man United. There's a lot of Austrian players that I'm actually a massive fan of at the moment as well. I really like Danso as the centre-back from Lens. I think he's brilliant. And obviously their midfield's really good with the likes of Sabitzer, Schlager. Who else am I missing? Lima as well, and Seewald as well. All really good options from the Bundesliga. I like them a lot, and I can't think of who their attacker is, but I don't know if that's necessarily an area that they're... it'll be Arnautovic probably, wouldn't it? Or Gregoric, one of the two. I think one of them... I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I love their attack. I think they're good, though, but when you look at the other teams in this group, I mean, I'm not even going to talk about them much. France going to top the group. They're going to go far, obviously. I don't see them having any problems. There might be a shock defeat for them along the way, but I doubt that they're going to struggle in the group. Part of me has a problem with the Netherlands. There's a lot of players in their squad that I'm a fan of. I'm concerned about their strikers again. Obviously, we know Weghorst does turn up for Netherlands when he plays. You think back to that Argentina game, he obviously got that brace. That was a hell of a game. They got Memphis Depay. They got Donyell Malen as well, I guess. So actually, it's not as bad as I first thought. I don't mind it. Midfield's obviously very strong. Defensively, I really like Daley Blind in this team. I hope he actually plays more because he's got such versatility, and I think he enables them to play a a really nice system. I think they normally play a 4-3-3, sometimes a 5-3-2 against stronger teams. So he can obviously play both centre back, left back, and left wing back. Very versatile player. So can Nathan Ake now though. So that'll be an interesting dynamic. I don't know whether I think Austria are going to beat the Netherlands in the group. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I'm going to go with the safe option and go with Netherlands second. And Poland I have so many worries about. I mean, obviously they got some good players. You got Matty Cash at right back, Lewandowski up top, Szczesny in goal, but I just think they don't really have quality that they need. I don't see them doing anything in this group. I can see them finishing this with maybe a point. I don't think they're going to get too much out of this. Group E, we have Belgium, Romania, Slovakia, and Ukraine. Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, to start with, I think we're obviously going to go with Belgium top. They've got a brilliant squad. They're always that team that end up in the quarterfinals and semi-finals. They never win it, which is interesting, and I don't think they're going to win it either this year, but obviously, you've got Lukaku up top. You've got Jeremy Doku, who's going to be a really exciting player. Made his name in the last tournament that they played in. And did really well at Rennes at the time as well. I like their squad. Obviously, you've got De Bruyne as well, who's a brilliant player. And Openda up top. Onana. Okay, yeah. No, they're going to top the group. I don't think I need to worry about that much. Romania, and I saw an interesting stat against Romania. They've only lost one of their last 15 games, which was against Colombia. I think that they're actually going to be a bit of a dark horse in this group, but not as much as I think Ukraine are going to be a dark horse. I love Ukraine. Just their entire set of players, I'm a massive fan of. You obviously got Dovbyk at Girona, who I think has been sensational. I'm a massive fan of Dovbyk, and you got Zigankov as well, also at Girona. I think Dovbyk has 24 goals and 10 assists in, I want to say, 39 games this year. I've done a whole video on why I love Girona so much. Go and check that video out if you want to see why I love Dovbyk and Zigankov. But obviously you got Ukraine Bolt as well at left wing. Best player in the world, by the way. You heard it here first. Going to light this tournament up, I hope. And their defence is really solid as well. Obviously, you're probably going to see Zinchenko invert into the midfield, Mikolenko left back, and Zabania in the centre-back position, and they've obviously got Lunin in goal as well, who's had a phenomenal season at Real Madrid while Courtois has been out and Kepa's not been playing. So for me, Ukraine goes second. I really like the Ukraine setup, and I think they could be a dark horse in this tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if they underperform. And one player I want you to keep your eye on is Sudakov. I think he's a brilliant player. Keep your eye on him. Going to do really well, I think. And Slovakia for me fourth. I don't think they really have much to offer. And then Group F, Portugal, Turkey, Georgia, and Czechia, or Czech Republic. Czech Republic are another team that I actually really like. I think this is a very difficult group. Obviously, I'm pretty confident Portugal are going to top it. We'll get onto them a bit more later in the video. I don't think that we need to talk about them. We obviously know they're brilliant. Czech Republic, brilliant set of players. Obviously, you got Soufal and Souček, and Schick and Hložek up top, who have obviously played for Bayer Leverkusen this season. For me, I do think Czech Republic finished this group second over Turkey. Turkey, obviously, a brilliant set of players as well. You got Unal, you got Kanonoglu. I really like, and Arda Güler as well. Really like Turkey, but I don't know if they're going to have. I just have a weird feeling about them for this tournament. I'm going to put them third, and Georgia are going to finish fourth. I think we all know that, but I don't want people to rule them out as much as they possibly should. I think when you look at their squad of players, you've got some really good talents in there, with the likes of Mamadashvili as the goalkeeper, probably going to get a move this summer. Kvaratskhelia as well at Napoli, and I actually, whilst he's going to be the superstar, I think one player to keep your eye on as well is Mikotadze at Metz. He's got 12 goals in 19 games since he went back to them on loan, and since January he's been brilliant, I think, and he could be their star man over Kvaratskhelia this tournament. But for me, this is how we're going to go with it. Next, who are going to be the best third place teams? For me, I think Italy will be safe. I worry about Serbia, and I worry about Romania. I think Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and Turkey, I think they might be my main ones. I don't think Romania are going to have what it needs. I know that they've had a really good run of forms recently. I just don't think that they are going to be great in this tournament. They don't have any proper standout players. Obviously, you've got Dragusin, but that's pretty much as good as it gets for them, and Puskas and Koeman, but nothing really special. And I have a funny feeling about Serbia. I just don't think it's going to be their tournament. I'm going to go with that. Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and Turkey as the top four In that order as well, I think. Right, into the round of 16. This is where things get interesting. The big matchup starts come out. Spain versus Austria. I think that could be a really interesting setup. I think Spain are the obvious options there, though. Germany, Denmark. Again, I'm going to back Germany. I think Denmark are really good. They have a great tournament squad, but I don't think they're going to have what it takes to beat Germany, especially on home soil as well. A massive advantage. Portugal, Italy. That is a phenomenal game already in the round of 16. I love what Portugal have this tournament. I think their squad is arguably up there with France's. The versatility that they have. I mean, I don't need to run through everyone, but we know that they've got some brilliant players and some standout players as well. Antonio Silva at centre back and João Neves as the midfielder. I think they've got some brilliant options. I think they beat Italy. Netherlands, Ukraine. I've said Ukraine are my dark horses for this tournament. However, I do think this could be a stumbling block. I think Netherlands in this game was set up in a 4-3-3. I think they're going to have what it takes to beat Ukraine. I think it's just that experience that Ukraine might lack. So I'm going to go with the Netherlands. Belgium, Switzerland. This is a group I can see, a matchup that I can see a bit of a shock game. I could see Switzerland winning this. I could see Belgium winning this. I think it's going to be high scoring. I could see this being like a 3-2. Maybe goes to extra time or penalties. But I do think Belgium will have what it takes. Obviously, Switzerland, phenomenal team. Really like them. If it goes to penalties, then Jan Sommer, you might back him. But I'm going to go with Belgium. France, Czechia, Czech Republic. I'm going to go with France and England, Turkey. Probably going to be England. Hungary, Croatia is a game I am going to be licking my lips for. I think that's a brilliant matchup. I think Hungary are dark horses. Croatia always overperform. I think I'm going to back Croatia. I think that's the only away side that I've gone with. Not that they are away, but yeah, I'm going to go with that. I think Croatia are going to win. Right, quarter-final time. Spain versus Germany. That is a phenomenal game. I don't actually know who I'm going to come back to that one. I don't know. Portugal, Netherlands. Difficult as well, but I actually would back Portugal pretty comfortably. I could see this being like a 3-1 or a 2-0. I'm not too worried for Portugal in this game. And similarly, France, Belgium. As good as Belgium are, I think France are just phenomenal. They have everything that you want. France, for me, go through in that game. And England, Croatia. Don't even talk to me about that. Surely it's England's time for redemption. Surely we can't do it again. We can't lose like we did last time. That was a painful experience. Obviously, Croatia are a great team, as I keep saying. Cole Palmer, can he pull us through? I don't know. I'm going to back England, though. I do think that we're going to have what it takes. I know, obviously, we lost to Iceland the other day, but we don't talk about that. As I said at the start, we're pretending that didn't happen. I'm going to go with Spain. I'm going to go with Germany for Germany-Spain. I think the only thing that ties me over to Germany is that the competition's in Germany. I think that home support will be a massive factor. God, this just doesn't get easy, does it? This really doesn't get easy. Germany, Portugal. I think what you're seeing here, Germany, Portugal, France, England, are the 4 best teams of the tournament. Maybe you could put Spain in that category as well, so they're unlucky not to be there, but obviously one of them have to drop out, and I think Spain are in the middle of like a transitional period. I think in 2 years' time, Spain could be a phenomenal team in the World Cup, but for now, Germany have the home support. Portugal have, I would argue, the best squad. I don't know who I prefer in that situation. Something in my gut is screaming Portugal. But then, logically, I think Germany. I'm going to go Portugal. I just think that their squad is so good. Don't get me wrong, I can see a situation where they do end up fumbling this game. But I think they have what it takes. And then France, England. I don't think this is going to be as close as we saw in the World Cup. I don't think England are going to be able to match France's abilities just yet. I think as good as a squad that we have, France's is just next level. They've got a bit of everything. We know they're going to line up in that 4-3-3 with Griezmann putting the strings in the middle. Obviously, you got Mbappe. Giroud is a brilliant target man option if you want to bring him on. I really like that squad. And especially when you consider the fact that the likes of Saliba might not even start. That is just when you know that your team is incredible. I mean, Saliba for me would be England's best centre-back. And yet he doesn't start for France. I'm going to back France. And Portugal-France is a final. I mean, what a final that is, by the way. I think I'm going to go with Portugal. I don't know why. I have a sinking feeling that... No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Portugal. I don't want to see France win another tournament. So part of this is out of preference out rather than logic. I don't think France are going to have an entire complete domination of this tournament. They're going to have to slip up somewhere, and I think Portugal could be the team to do it. So for me, Portugal are my winners. I think Portugal win the Euros 2024. I'm going to back it. I'm going to stop thinking about it. I'm going to back Portugal to win the Euros 2024. I think they might have what it takes, but France could also do well. As I said, my dark horses in this tournament are probably Czech Republic, maybe, but I think Ukraine and Hungary are my two that I think could go deep. Might cause some upsets. But what do you guys think? Do you think I got some incredibly wrong? Do you think there's some obvious choices that I didn't agree with? Who do you think is going to win this tournament? Could it be Mbappe? Could it be Mbappe winning this tournament? Obviously, he nearly did it in the World Cup final. Can he do it this tournament? I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but obviously he's just joined Real Madrid. If you want to see how he's going to line up in that Real Madrid squad under Ancelotti, go and check out this video right here. But until next time, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments who's going to win this tournament.